Hello and welcome to Odds on Qualifiers Euro Matchday 5, second video that we have, and we are going to analyze the most interesting games we have on Friday and on Saturday with Dani Fisichella, with Alvaro Romeo. Hello again, guys, and with every one of you, of course, comment the video. This is a live video, so ask any question to Dani Fisichella and Alvaro Romeo. Don't forget to press the like, to leave your comments in the video, to subscribe, and now let's go on with the show. As I want to remind you at the beginning of the videos, we've partnered up with 1xBet. So if you are looking for a bookmaker, we have an exclusive offer. Thanks to Oddspedia and 1xBet, you can get up to 130% as a welcome bonus. This is very good only for the Oddspedia users. Use the promo code here, Oddspedia YouTube, and you will get this great welcome offer. Well, we have a lot of games on Friday and on Saturday in Europe, and the first stop is gonna be in Group A. We have Georgia, Spain in Tbilisi, and we have Spain strangely in the fourth spot in this group, Alvaro, but calm down. Our national team has only played 2 games, but they lost against Scotland away. That is why they only have 3 points, and in the meantime, they won the Nations League. There was a lot of controversial situation in the Spanish Federation that you can explain me now. And let's see if we can trust Spain playing away against Georgia. I'm sure Dani Fisichella has a lot to talk about Georgia and their dangers. Alvaro, how do you see this game?
Well, number one, of course, we have to explain what happened to Spain. I mean, between the last videos we did and this video we're doing now, many things have happened. Spain became world champion in women's. And after that, the president of the Spanish FA has been suspended for 3 months after giving a kiss and holding his balls basically to the crowd right when Spain was winning the World Cup as a way of celebrating it. The manager, Jorge Vilda, the manager of the women's team, has been sacked as well. And, this has also been contagious with the men's team, to the point that, the manager, Luis de la Fuente, has been heavily criticized, the men's manager, for not supporting perhaps enough the women and for taking sides with Rubiales, the former president or the suspended president of the Spanish FA. At least he took sides with him at the beginning, then he didn't. He changed his mind. Then the players before this game against Georgia, also sent out a statement read by Alvaro Morata. For some, the statement wasn't strong enough, condemning or at least criticizing what had happened with the former or the suspended president Rubiales. So this is the mix. They say that there is a little bit of a division between the men's players, because some of them, they didn't want to criticize Rubiales or to send out a statement. Some others wanted to send a stronger, robust statement condemning what happened. And this is the situation. But Spain needs the points. Yeah, this is the thing. Spain needs the points right now because they've got 3 out of 6. And the best thing for them is that the second spot is reachable, because at the end of the day, Scotland took many points, but the rest of the sides just took points from each other. But Spain has to win a lot of games if they want to claim the first spot. In the Nations League, Spain was better than the rest of the European sides, and it's true. Spain right now is missing a couple of very flashy stars, but at the same time, Rodri of Manchester City is a big star. Dani Olmo looks like one right now. Yamin Lamal may be one of them. And 3 players in the Spanish squad, Gavi, Yamal, and Balde, were yesterday nominated for the Golden Boy Award. So the pool of talent is still there. The team has an overall quality that we know about, a technique, especially in midfield, and that's why Spain dominates game with the possessions, and every now and then they win titles at senior level, as they did in the Nations League. The game against Scotland was very, very poor, that's for sure. But now Spain is in a better place. I think that they can beat Georgia. I think that normally with Spain, what happens is that they cook the game slowly, they have the possession, and when they score the first goal, then more goals are coming. So for me, this is going to be the logic I'm going to follow here. Spain to win the second half as a consequence of that logic, 162. maybe a draw at 30 minutes can be something that you like, because normally Spain struggles to score the first goal. A draw at 30 minutes pays 183. And if you want to go for serious money, obviously the halftime, full-time draw away will be very interesting too. Spain draw in the first half and then win in the second half. That pays 425. That's not for me though. But anyway, if you think that my logic makes sense, maybe you can think that there is a very tempting lot in there. But anyway, Spain to win the second half, 162.
Alvaro explained the facts perfectly about what is going on in Spain, and actually these teams met on the road to Qatar, and Spain won the second half because they won that game in the very last minute. Apart from Kvaratskhelia, Dani, with 4 points, what Spain should fear about this team?
A team that is on the up, that is getting better. They only lost one of the last 14 games, Georgia, against Scotland. They beat Sweden, Bulgaria, drew against Norway. It is a good collective, and let's not forget they won their Nations League group. So regardless of how they finish in this group, Georgia is going to be in the playoff. So they're going to be Spain because they won the Nations League group. But I think it's not impossible for Georgia to qualify to the Euros. They have a decent squad who did fairly well at the Euro 2023 under 21. It was a very difficult group with Bulgaria, with Belgium, Netherlands, and Portugal. And Georgia, with the youngster, did okay. Kvaratskhelia coming back after a small injury, played at the weekend against Lazio, could have scored. Let's see if he's in 100% form. But, it is a side that has got the likes of Davidashvili, plays for Bordeaux, Shavedadze plays for Watford, Sazonov, Torino, obviously Mamadarshvili at Valencia. So, they play for a decent club in Europe. And I think they could trouble Spain. The thing is, Spain don't lose very often. They only lost 2 games in the last 2 years. Perhaps they're still looking for an identity. Perhaps with the Spanish backline and the center backs, Laporte now playing in Saudi Arabia. I don't know who the other partnership is going to be. Maybe Lenormand. Maybe there is something.
I'm going to tell you very quickly. Laporte, Pau Torres, Lenormand, or David Garcia from Osasuna. The center back line is definitely the most undermining one in the team.
Yeah,
that's for sure. But we don't concede many goals either.
Yeah, I mean, with a midfielder like Rodri, you are shielded and you got good protection. The midfield is good. I think it's going to be a goals game anyway. Over 2.5 goals. As Edu remembered, previously they met not long ago. Spain beat Georgia 2-1. Then they won 4-1 at home. I think they're going to be goals. Over 2.5.
Only 2 years ago, we have messages from Canada, from Bharat, formerly India, just renamed. This is Group A. The leaders, Scotland, they are traveling to Cyprus, and Norway, they are resting in this match day. On Friday, we go to Group J. Here we have the 2 leaders, one against each other, and this is the hardest game for Portugal, traveling to Slovakia, but Portugal, probably together with France, they are both the best European sides, and they are showing it in the group stages. So far, 14 goals scored for Portugal. Cristiano Ronaldo scored already 5 in this very easy group, although we have to say that they suffered in the last trip to Iceland. Slovakia, Dani, we saw them also in the Euros, was a bit long time ago, but they are not as strong as they were some years ago. So I don't know if you see Portugal having travels here, like they had in Iceland, or cruising like they are mostly doing it in every other country they are visiting lately.
The only trouble I can see here for Portugal if they don't score more than 1 goal, but I think Portugal are going to win this one, and possibly by more than a goal margin. And look, the last 4 games for Portugal have all been 2-0. They are dominating the group. Probably they win this one. They're going to qualify with 3 games to spare. All the best players are there this time. There are no major injuries. I would like to see Leao starting from the first minute. He had a very good season so far in Italy with Milan. Yes, it is true. The last games they won, it was a last-minute goal from Ronaldo in Iceland. But, it was June, end of the season game. Lots of factors to take into account. Only lost 2 of the last 10, Portugal, and only drew 1 in the last 17 games. So normally, they get the job done. Unbeaten in 7 away games, Portugal as well. Slovakia, a bit the masters of tight margin. They score 5 goals and they got 10 points in the group. So maybe they can count themselves a little bit lucky. Unbeaten in 7. Their Nations League group was disappointing. They finished behind Kazakhstan and Azerbaijan. So they need to finish in the top 2 to at least go into the playoff. They never been close to qualifying to the World Cup in the previous group. Only won 3 games in the group. The collective, the players are decent. Lobotka, one of the best midfielders in Italy. Hamsik, still going strong. Kuchka, Skriniar at the back.
Hamsik is retired, I think,
Hamsik
Danny.
Hamsik is retired.
Yeah.
I did see him in the list of the called up, but it might have been an old one.
Okay, I may be wrong. I'm going to check that out.
I might be wrong, but yeah, I mean, he's off the radar for a long time. And then obviously, probably the best player at the back, Milan Skriniar, who plays for PSG. Having said that, Portugal to win comfortably for me. Portugal win and over 1.5 goals, 191. So possibly another win 2-0 for Portugal. I like it, 191.
We were criticizing Portugal when they were under Fernando Santos because they were stingy. With Martinez, they are scoring, but also we have to take this with a pinch of salt, like Danny always say, because they are facing really poor opposition, Alvaro.
Yeah, well, but they haven't lost against Roberto Martinez. Not that I personally rate a lot Roberto Martinez, but they haven't lost with him. In fact, they are winning, all wins under the Catalan manager. I think that this game is going to be quite an attacking game, really. Believe me, because if you check the squad, the stats, in UEFA, you will see that, look, Portugal is the 3rd best side in attempts, and the team with more crosses attempted, and the team that has started more attacking sequences, and the 2nd team with more goals, 14. Slovakia is the 4th one in attempts overall from all Europe, of course, taking into account that Italy, Netherlands, Spain, and Croatia have played less games because they were involved in the Nations League. But Slovakia is the 4th on attempts and the 5th best in attacking sequences started. So I think they are attacking. The difference is that Slovakia has scored 5 goals and Portugal has scored 14. I mean, the quality up front makes the difference. So, for example, for me, both teams to score could be something that it could be nice. 210 over 2.5 goals, 185. Maybe I prefer that one, a little bit less risky because Portugal can keep a clean sheet. Cristiano Ronaldo to score 173. As you can see, I'm going for goals market here. And I love Daniele's one, that one with that combination he did. But anyway, I'm going to give you another one. Portugal to win and Portugal to score over 1.5 goals. Altogether, that gives you money in the region of 280 to 3. So, those will be my bets.
By the way, Hamsik
I can confirm that
retired,
exactly,
but he was called up as an emergency in June to play in the qualifiers, and that's what threw me because I saw the list and I thought that was the reason why. So yeah, no Hamsik.
He won't be there. Portugal to score the first goal, according to Bon Jobu. Next game, Turkey, Armenia. This is Group D, and both teams are also the leaders in this group, but we have in this group also Croatia or Wales. Croatia, they are playing at home against Latvia, but I think this one could be more interesting, this Turkey-Armenia, although Turkey, they are really favorites. They beat Wales and Latvia in the last break. Unfortunately, Arda Güler, who scored the goal in the last game, he will be missing. Alvaro, these odds are too low for Turkey, but I guess they should get the 3 points to be in another big tournament against Armenia.
They should, but I'm gonna go for the goals market. By the way, I'm really sorry that Arda Güler has an injury because I haven't seen him play for Real Madrid, and he looks fantastic. I mean, hopefully he will recover soon. But anyway, he's not in this squad. Obviously, he's gonna be out for a little while. Look, the goals market makes sense to me. The reverse fixture, which Turkey won, by the way, had both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. I think that this can happen again. Both teams to score 225, over 2.5 goals, 170. And the cards market can be interesting too because Armenia and Turkey, they got 12 and 10 yellows respectively. And they are the 1st and the 5th in the yellow cards ranking. So as soon as that market is open, go for something over 4.5 cards. I think that it makes sense. Very quickly on Armenia, I mean, they got 6 points because they beat Wales and Latvia. They are not so bad. And the players Telayaran and Ranos destroyed Wales. I think that Norberto Briasco Balekian, the player from Boca, is going to be out because he's got a last-minute injury, which is a real shame. And when it comes to another Armenian player that is worth looking at, it's Eduard Siles. 9 attempts on goal in these qualifiers. He scored last season 10 goals in the Russian league, and he has already 4 this season. So one to look out for is that player for sure.
Turkish football, Danny, always interesting to watch, the Turkish Superliga, and also this Turkey national team. We should expect them to come behind Croatia, or this is what we thought at the beginning of this group.
Yeah, because Wales in this group look very poor. They lost to Armenia at home. And Turkey come on the back of a successful campaign in the Nations League. They won their group, so they will be guaranteed a playoff spot. And I think this is going to play on the mind of many teams, maybe comes match day 6, 7, knowing they got the playoff spot guaranteed. Only one clean sheet in the last 6 for Turkey. So maybe, yes, they are quite prone to concede goals. Not sure about the defense. Selik, Demiral, Soyuncu, there isn't much defending quality perhaps there. But of course, firepower up front. You mentioned, of course, on there, Akhtar Koglu plays for Galatasaray. We're going to see him in the Champions League. I think he's an exciting winger. Unal Çalhanoğlu, who's having one of the best, probably the best spell of his career at Inter, but he plays in a holding midfielder role. Let's see if they deploy in there to provide a little bit more coverage there. Often Turkey scores late goals, but they do score a lot of goals. In the World Cup qualifiers, they scored 27, 2 more than Belgium, 6 more than Croatia, 9 more than France, but they didn't go to the World Cup. So it is often a team that scores, concede. For Armenia, good win in Wales. They are unbeaten in 3 games. The last 5 games for Armenia have all been both to score and over 2.5 goals. Finished bottom of the Nations League Group B. It was difficult with Scotland, Ukraine, and Ireland. Maybe it was a learning curve for them. For me, it's a win for Turkey quite convincingly. I would say half-time, full-time, Turkey win 191.
Well, and talking about goals, let's move to the next game, because I want to talk about England going to play in Poland, in Wrocław, against Ukraine. I mentioned the goals because England has scored already 15 goals. Remember that the last game was at home against North Macedonia with a 7-0 with Saka and Kane shining. Danny, I guess it will be tougher against Ukraine, but Ukraine already lost 2-0 in March against England with 1.5 for England to win. I would take these odds, to be honest.
I'm taking it.
I would do the same. I think England under Southgate, who, by the way, is going to leave the national team at the end of the Euros, regardless, have become masters of tournaments, of qualifiers. They don't get it wrong anymore because they got a system that they know. They got a pool of players that it's outstanding. It's probably second only to France in Europe, and probably better than Portugal. But yeah, they come very close to, I think they're very, very close to winning a major tournament. But in qualifiers, they've been a force. They dominate. They don't need to resort to the last game scraps as it was in the past. And I think they're going to get the job done. They won the most difficult game already, which was away in Napoli against Italy. And they're gonna steamroll it now. In the World Cup qualifiers, they won 8 and drew 2. Only 3 goals conceded, and they got the job done very early. They are unbeaten in 4, only lost 1 of the last 10, England, which was the game against, of course, France at the World Cup. And, when you look at the squad, more than the name of the players that are in the squad, you always look at the players that are not in the squad and tells you how deep is the choice for Southgate. I'm a little bit baffled to not see Sterling, for example, in the squad, or Bowen, Ward-Prowse, Watkins. There is no Reece James, who's injured. But then you will say, why is Maguire and Calvin Phillips in the squad in place of some of the names we mentioned? There's so much options as well. Southgate is playing in saying Maguire and Calvin Phillips are useful as experienced player and as potential replacement, but they haven't played much football lately. There's no Grealish for an injury, no Trent Alexander-Arnold. I'm really curious to see if Maddison will play, and he will play as well as he's done for Spurs so far at the beginning of the season. For Ukraine, we often underestimate them. I think they are very competitive. They show it in qualifiers and they show it in different tournaments, also with Shakhtar Donetsk. But it's undoubtful that their star player Mudryk is not having a great time. 19 games in the Premier League, 0 goals. We were expecting more from him. They only beat Malta 1-0. The problem with Ukraine is that they don't have a great goal scorer. Yaremchuk is the top goal scorer, and he's not a clinical goal scorer. Bit surprised not to see Malinowski in the team either. But let's not underestimate them. The decisive game for Ukraine anyway is the next one against Italy. I think England are gonna win it, and to find decent odds, you need to go -1. Asiatica -1 for England, 178.
Well, Mudryk, he has a problem, Alvaro. He plays for Chelsea. You cannot shine there.
No, I totally agree. And in fact, I know that Mikhailo Mudryk, for someone who only watches the Premier League, Mikhailo Mudryk is a bad player. But I saw him in the European Under-21. And believe me, not only he was fast, that I knew he was, but he also was very skillful. And he had a repertoire of dribblings that I didn't know of. So probably the best thing for Mudryk, as strange as it sounds, is at some point, if Chelsea doesn't take on to leave on loan or something like that and go to a good side, because I think that this is still a promising player. But England are the favorites here. They have scored 15 goals, which is the biggest scoring lot for a side in the European qualifiers. And it's not only Harry Kane, because Jude Bellingham is the top scorer of La Liga right now with 5 goals. Phil Foden can score many goals. Maddison is scoring for Ange Postecoglou at Spurs as well. And yeah, there are missing players like Sterling, but I don't think he's going to be that missed, even though, in my opinion, like Daniele says, he should be in the squad. And one of the talking points of the season, of the week, has been Jordan Henderson and the many contradictions that he's falling onto lately, talking about Saudi Arabia, but that's another story. That's what English media are talking about right now. And the truth is that maybe the best thing here is to find a combination like England to win and England to score over 1.5 goals in that game. That will give you something in the region of 250. I will say Harry Kane to score 183. I always like this with England because Harry Kane is taking the penalties, and this is very important too, because he maximizes the chances of him scoring. And I can stay there. I'm happy with those odds. This game for me is a good opportunity to cash some money.
Well, Kane already with 5 goals in these qualifiers. Saka with 4. Good to go for goal scorers. Next game, allow me, Alvaro, to go again with Dani Fisichella first, because it's his Italy playing in North Macedonia, maybe visiting some ghosts there. Because you have to remember, obviously, that Italy got kicked out from the previous World Cup against North Macedonia, was in Italy, that game. And this is a new era for Italy because the man called Mancini, and he's gone. Spalletti is on the bench, Dani. So new, fresh air for Italy. And the task is, first of all, qualifying them for the Euros, of course.
Yes, and it's not an easy task considering how the group spanned out and the fact that they need to win against Ukraine at least one game, otherwise they're going to be in trouble. Okay, Italy always got the parachute of the playoff because they won the Nations League group, but they really don't want to go down the route after being knocked out from 2 World Cup in the playoff. They want to qualify directly. And of course, this is a tough game because it's the ghost of the past for Italy playing against North Macedonia. It's been an eventful summer with Mancini leaving abruptly because he wasn't agreeing anymore with the head of the FA. They changed his collaborators. He was upset, and then he went to join Saudi Arabia. That caused an uproar in Italy. But Italy can count themselves lucky because they got the best manager available on the market, who's Luciano Spalletti, who won the league with Napoli in style. It is a manager that is going to obviously continue on the attacking football, on the propositive football that Mancini has instilled. So it's not too much change there. And I think what I like about Spalletti is that everywhere he went, he was able to get the basics right straight away. So he's very good at giving the team a blueprint that is not too difficult to understand. It's not too complicated, but it gets result. I remember his second spell in charge at Roma, came in the middle of the season, fixed them. Same as Inter, he managed to fix them quite quickly. So I can't expect anything flamboyant, anything out of the ordinary, but I think Italy are going to be solid, they're going to be attacking, and they're going to make the most of the quality players they got. If you look, the likes of Locatelli, Barella, Tonali in midfield, the two wing backs, Di Marco and Di Lorenzo. The only issue up front, obviously, is the goal, is the goal scorers. Who's going to start as a number 9 again? Is it going to be Retegui? Scored 1 goal in Serie A. Chiesa had a better start of the season, 2 goals so far. Seemed to have recovered from the injury very well. Depends what sort of condition Zaniolo is. There is no Scamacca, no Berardi. Still a call-up for Immobile. He's the captain, but we don't know whether he's going to start. So there are a lot of question marks over there. But I think being the beginning of a new era, Italy will take this game extremely seriously, and they play against a weak Macedonia side. If anything is weaker than the side that Italy lost against in that infamous night in Palermo, lost 7-0 to England. Recently, Macedonia only beat Malta and Faroe Island, lost to Georgia twice, could not beat Bulgaria, who's not a great side at the moment. Trajkovski, by the way, the guy who knocked us out from the World Cup, he's a free agent at the moment, hasn't got a team. Anyway, maybe some teams in Italy will take pity of him. I don't know. Look, I'm going to go for an Italian win, a professional display. Italy win and over 1.5 goals, 178, perhaps even an Italy win 2-0.
The latest results that Danny was highlighting about North Macedonia gave us these very low odds. Danny, Alvaro, for Italy, I kind of think that Spalletti is an upgrade for Italy than Mancini.
Well, I think so too. I mean, on the basis of what we saw with Napoli last year, but many more things, because Spalletti's career maybe went under the radar a little bit in Europe, but not in Italy. I mean, every Italian knows how good Spalletti is as a manager. I think that Spalletti will use a similar template to Roberto Mancini, a 4-3-3. That's the way Napoli won the title last season. I wonder who the creative player in that midfield is going to be. Now Marco Verratti is not there in the squad.
And Jorginho
Jorginho either, Locatelli, Cristante can be those registi. I don't know.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's my question. And then no number 9, but Spalletti, funnily enough, got some of the best minutes of Raspadori's career, the diminutive striker of Napoli. And I don't know if Raspadori can be Italy's number 9. In my opinion, he's not. But anyway, Spalletti got very good things off him, not in the league, but definitely in knockout tournaments, especially in the Champions League last year. Then when it comes to North Macedonia, I think they probably got one of the best results of their lives when they beat Italy. We know about that. Their players are not great. Of course, they've got mixed results. Enis Bardi has scored 1 goal in the qualifiers. Elmas has scored 2, the biggest star of this team, definitely. Alioski, Dimitrescu are still there. Dimitrescu is a good goalkeeper from Rayo, but not enough, I think, right now to inflict pain to this Italy, who came 3rd in the Nations League. And I think they did a good game against the Netherlands in the bronze medal game. So I'm going to go for under 2.75 goals, 186. But I also like Daniele's Italy to win and over 1.5 goals in the game.
Well, hello, Elvis from Ghana. And the last game we are going to analyze on Saturday is in Group A, bit of a random game, this one, Romania-Israel, but very interesting in the fight for the second spot in this group. We have a very interesting one as well, especially for the politics and everything involved, Kosovo, Switzerland. But again, our stop is in Romania playing against Israel. We have Romania, Alvaro with 8 points, Israel with 7. In Romania, we have, for instance, Hagi, the son of Jika Hagi, and they were able to draw against Switzerland. If you fancy Romania to win, double ups your money, Alvaro.
I know. This is a tricky one, but I think that the odds are very favorable to the Romanians. And I think that the reason why is because they got a very good result in Switzerland, and this has had an influence in the way the odds are today. The truth is that Romania has good numbers. They scored 6. They conceded only 3. They haven't lost. They got a couple of dangerous players, Puskas as well, Hagi, Alaves footballer as well. They got a very distinct style. which is defined by robustness. For example, their passing accuracy in these Euro qualifiers is really, really, really low, 73%. I mean, Lithuania and Belarus, for example, those big footballing countries, they've got a bigger passing accuracy than Romania. Romania is about just keeping it right and just staying tight defensively. When it comes to Israel, I think that Israel has done well. They have scored 5 goals. I think that they've got some danger in them with Solomon, with Weissman, or Abada, the player who last season scored 10 goals for Celtic. Edu, you are going to love this one. The son of Jaime Revivo, former Celta player, is in the squad.
Another son.
Roy Revivo, I hope the best for him. And then, they've got a couple of interesting players. The second choice goalkeeper for Bayern right now is from Israel, Daniel Peretz. And Oskar Glock is playing for Salzburg, and he's playing very well. I think that they've got good footballers. I honestly believe that. And that's why for this game, I'm going to back the following. Israel to score over 0.5 goals, 1.5. And a double chance for Israel, 180.
No bad.
What? Yeah, Danny, you like this Israel? Remember, they did well, kind of well in the road to Qatar, beating Austria, for instance. Austria was out of the race because losing to Israel heavily, actually.
I like the goals in this game. That's why I went for over 2.25 goals, 192, simply because Romania only lost 1 in the last 8, and they scored 2 late goals to rescue a point in Switzerland. Israel only lost 1 of the last 6, but last year they lost 2-1 to Malta, and they conceded 21 goals in the World Cup qualifiers, average more than 2 goals per game. They finished third in the group, but no team that finished so high in each group conceded so many goals. So they haven't got a great defense there. But Israel, they can count themselves lucky because they were in the Nations League group with only 2 teams, not Russia for obvious reasons, Iceland and Albania, 2 wins and 2 draws. They topped the group and they're going to be in the playoff of the Euros anyway. But I think of all the teams that are going to be in the playoff, they're going to be the weakest team by far that people want to meet. I think despite Romania not having a great goal scorers, but I'm curious to see how Yanis Agis performs now after his injury. He used to be really good before he had his injury. I think they're going to be goals here, probably because Israel defense is not great. Over 2.25 goals, 192.
I think, Danny, you are the only one who understands how this playoff works. It's so complicated, how UEFA has established the qualifications for the Euros, but we have the best knowledge in this channel with Danny, with Alvaro, with all our punters. You've had a lot of information about this Euro Qualifiers Matchday 5 on Friday. We have another video to analyze the games on Sunday. On Monday, we will analyze also more games that we have in Europe. In the meantime, if you are preparing a safe bet for this Friday and this Saturday, perhaps Alvaro Romeo has an answer for you.
Yeah, Spain to win, 133.
As safe as it can get for us, hopefully. And Dane, Italy to win?
Well, here comes the nationalist. Italy to win, 138.
Okay, rule number 1 of betting, do not trust your heart.
But we're playing Georgia and North Macedonia. Come on.
Let's see. We will talk on Monday. And Yoraka, Dane?
Croatia, Asian handicap minus 1.5. They play Latvia. Belgium, Asian handicap minus 1.5. They play Azerbaijan away. Sweden to beat Estonia. And England to win against Ukraine. And the total odds are 484.
A little bit of everything. And Alvaro Romeo?
England to win, Spain to win, Portugal to win, Croatia, Latvia over 2.5 goals. Altogether, 422.
Keeping it simple, then good odds. Anyway, thanks everyone. Thanks for watching. Thanks for keep following us. Don't forget to press the like, to subscribe, to leave your comments, and see you very soon. On Friday, we have another video with these 2 guys analyzing European football. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Bye.